Hi everyone, I'm Clem and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on the different books I've read in January. So January was a really great month for me. I managed to read 7 books, and 7 books for a beginning of the year, it's like super high for me, so I'm super proud. And I don't know, I just read amazing books. I'm just going to talk about them with you, but I'm really happy with what I've read this month. So the first 2 books I've read in January were the book 3 and 4 in the Last Man graphic novel by Balak Salanville et Vives. So this is a French graphic novel slash manga, and it was really great. Like, a lot of things happened, but the things I was expecting the most didn't happen, so I was a bit sad about it. But in the 4th one, I was reunited with one of my favorite characters, because I first discovered this book by watching the TV series on Netflix, and I loved it. So then I decided to read the books, because the books actually don't tell the same stories. Like, I feel like the TV series is happening before the books, so I was really intrigued to know what was going to happen after, and it's really amazing. Though the drawings are a bit disturbing at some point, but it really fits the authors, because like I know the things they do and it's really their style, but it can be like a bit weird sometimes. But in the end I gave book 3 and book 4 3 out of 5 stars. Next, I've read The Last of August by Brittany Cavallaro, and it is the 2nd book in the Charlotte Holmes series. So in this book, we're following again Charlotte and Jamie, but this time they're in England, and it's winter break, and they wanted to have a nice and calm winter break. But at the beginning of the book, Charlotte's uncle Leander goes missing, and Charlotte and Jamie decide to go search for him, and this investigation is going to take them throughout Europe. So they're going to go to Berlin and then to Prague, but also in England, and it was really nice. It was really amazing to be reunited with Charlotte and Jamie, because I had forgot how much I loved them in the first book. Like, the two of them are really cute, and in this book you're starting to see the beginning of their love stories, so I was so into it. I can't wait. I feel like in the 3rd one we're finally going to get what we want, like for them to be together. Another thing that was really interesting in this one is that Brittany Cavallaro is playing with the whole thing like Moriarty versus Holmes, and it was really interesting to see how she was going to include that in her books. And so she talked about all the grudges between the Holmes and the Moriarty throughout the centuries, and it was amazing to see it, because the Moriartys are a huge part of the book. Like, Jamie and Charlotte are helped by Jamie Moriarty, August Moriarty, yes, it's his name, who used to be the obsession of Charlotte. Like, she had a huge crush on him, so it's a bit weird, the relationship between Charlotte, Jamie and August, because Jamie is a bit jealous of August, but it was really nice to read about it. Though the only thing that disappointed me a bit is that in this book you have 2 cases, and they're really different from one another, and right now it's going to be a spoiler, so if you haven't read this, just go away and come back when I'm not holding this book. So yeah, I really hoped by the 2 cases, so the one of the stolen paintings and the one of Leander, had something to do in common, like, but no, they were totally different cases, and so, I don't know, that's not what I hoped for. Like, I was hoping for Leander to be locked somewhere dangerous by the Moriarty, but actually he was locked under the Holmes house, and I was like, so basically Jamie and Charlotte's been looking for you, Leander, and you were just in the basement of your house? I was like, it's not what I wanted, but it was still a very good book. It was still very enjoyable to read it, and yeah, I gave it, I think, yeah, 4 stars, just because the 2 cases like were a bit a letdown for me. Next, I reread Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and this is the 1st book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. Damn, I had forgot how long the first book is. While reading it, I kept remembering that all the good stuff and stuff are actually happening in the two other books. So this book is really long for nothing. They're just talking and talking and nothing's happening, nothing's getting done. Like, they're just like stating all the problems they have and they're just like, okay, we're going to wait. And no, you can't wait. You like actually have to act. You're at Shadowhunters and you have to do some things at some point. But funny though, I remember when I first read Clockwork Angel, I thought that Tessa was freaking annoying because she kept asking so many questions and she kept saying that women shouldn't fight and that all the Shadowhunter things were like a bit bullshit. But here, when I read it, she wasn't as annoying as I remembered, so it was a bit better, like, to read this one. And Will, I have to talk about Will because Will, I love him, he's my baby, okay? But I had forgot the whole curse thing around Will, and so, like, every time I saw him, I was like, dude, you have to talk to your best friend or to your, like, adoptive mother in a way. Like, you have to tell someone that you have a curse and you're afraid that they're going to die if you love them, because everyone thinks you're a prick and that you're like a bastard, and actually you're a golden boy, like you have a golden heart. Everyone will love you, but Will, you have to talk to someone. Stop like keeping everything to yourself. It's not good. And now that I reread this one, knowing that Will was cursed, so many of his words and actions make sense. Like, you understand why he says some stuff. Like, at some point he says, I've already lost everything, and Tessa is like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, nothing. And you, the reader, who knows that Will is cursed and that he actually left his family to protect them, you understand that he's talking about his mother and father and sister, that he left his house to protect them because he thought that if it stayed with them, they would be killed. And it makes sense, and you understand way better Will once you know he was cursed. So in the end, I gave this book 4 stars because it's definitely not my fave, but it's Cassandra Clare and I still had a great time reading it. This month I also read the 10th book in a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. So this one is The Slippery Slope. And I'm so glad because in this book we finally lost the pattern of the other books. So if you read this, in every other books, basically the Baudelaires are arriving to a new family. They think that it's going to be okay. Then Olaf comes in disguise. The Baudelaires know it's him in disguise. They're trying to tell everyone around them that it's Olaf, but all the adults are saying, no, it's not Olaf, come on, it doesn't look like him. Then Olaf does something bad, he's uncovered, everyone say, oh my gosh, it was Olaf all the time. And the children are like, yes, we told you so. And then Olaf goes away and the children goes away. And it was starting to be a bit bothering to always have the same pattern, but in this one, finally, things are changing. And actually, we learned a lot in this book. Like, it's the first time that the 3 Baudelaires aren't together during the whole book. Like, on one side you have Sunny, and Sunny is with Olaf and his troop, and on the other side we have Baudelaire, Violet and Klaus, who are searching for Sunny. And they arrive to, like, the secret place, like the secret headquarters of VFD, and they meet the 3rd triplet, like Quigley, Quagmire. And you discovered actually Quigley Quagmire is the one everyone's been talking about throughout the 2 or 3 books before, like he was the survivor of the fire. So they actually learned that it's none of their parents actually survived the fire and that they're dead. So in the end, the Baudelaires are reunited with Sunny, but they once again are separated by destiny with the Quagmire because they are going off the slippery slope, and Quigley actually has to go away and in order to stop Olaf and his troop and to protect the Baudelaires. So, like, they can't be together and it's really sad. But if I remember well from the TV series that I've watched, they're going to be reunited at some point. I feel like, if I remember well. Another thing that was really interesting in this book is the question of moral that the Baudelaires have in this one, and especially Violet and Klaus, because they are in the headquarters of VFD and they are wondering if they should play Olaf's game and be as bad as him, like, and play tricks and hurt people and kill him, like, because they could, like, they need protection and it could be something they could do, or if they should act like their parent told them, like, and educate them, and it will stick more to the VFD motto and ways of being, but they will never defeat Olaf by playing VFD's game. So they don't really know what to do, but in the end they choose, like, the good side, so they choose the VFD ways and they play tricks and actually capture Asme, Squalor and all this stuff. So it's really interesting, this question of moral, because, like, they're starting to being young teenagers, and yes, it was really interesting to see, because with that you also see the shift between Olaf and VFD, like why they divided and what really happened with VFD. Next, I've read, or I mostly read, One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. So I haven't quite finished this book yet because at the end of the month I had way too much work and I couldn't really read it. And also because this book is not my fave. Like, I want to know who killed Simon, definitely, but I still don't know. But first, I should tell you what this book is about if you don't know. So in this book, you have Simon, it's happening in a high school, and Simon has an app, like a bit like Gossip Girl, where he's saying all the gossip and the rumors about people. And so people are a bit afraid of him because he could expose your darkest secret to everyone. And so the books begin with Simon and 4 of the teens, so you have Browin, Addie, Cooper and Nate, and they are all in detention, but unfortunately Simon dies during detention. And so the police thinks that either Browin, Nate, Cooper or Addie actually killed Simon because he was killed with peanut oil and he was allergic to it, so they think someone killed him. And basically it's all the investigation in the book, and when you read it you understand that each one of them had actually a motive to kill Simon, because he knew things about them that were things that for instance Browin didn't want her parents to know or her friends to know, so like they were threatened by Simon. So here's what I didn't really like about this book, is that there's a lot of point of view, okay? You have the point of view of each student, but it's really short and not really well done in a way. I can't really explain, but I didn't really like it. And also, I just need to mention this. AD, the character of AD is really problematic for me because it's very sexist what she says. At some point, I'm going to read you 2 things that really shocked me. I had to talk about it with you and you will tell me what you think about it. So, at some point, Eddie says, I never turned Jake down. Jake is her boyfriend. It's like my mother said when she first took me to get birth control. If you say no too much, pretty soon someone else will say yes. Like, basically she's saying if you want to keep your boyfriend, you have to say yes at some point. Like, this is wrong. This is totally wrong. And another thing that really shocked me, it's basically I feel like a relationship with Jake is a bit toxic, because at some other point Addie is coming out and she's wearing a sweater in a gin, and Jake say, I'll keep you warm, put on something a little cuter, huh? And so Addie, just to please Jake, she's going in a room just to change and to be cuter, but she's going to be cold. And I was like, this is wrong also, like so wrong. And so it was really disturbing and unnerving. Like, I didn't like that part, and I didn't like the character of Addie. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to give this book 3 out of 5 stars, depending on how the ending is going to go, but I'm not sure I'm going to read the second one. Last but not least, I've read Lumberjanes Volume 1. This book was amazing. I loved it so much. So basically in this book you're following 5 friends and they're in this summer camp, like it's big, like a scout camp. And so like the book is really well done because each chapter is organized like chapter 1, and it goes with the badge they're going to win throughout the chapter. And actually the girls are trying to live their normal summer, like just getting their badges and like having a good time with their friends. But each time they're going out to get badges, fantastical elements, like fantasy elements, like supernatural elements are coming in their way. Like they meet 3 eyes foxes, they meet a river monster, they meet yetis, they meet a bunch of scout guys who are really weird, who become like robots at some point. They discovered a whole underground that's really weird with a lot of statues and doors you need to pass. So they actually understand that the world is weirder than what they thought, and they're going to try to understand what is actually happening in their surroundings and in the forest. At the end of the first book, they just understood that something is weird and they're going to try to investigate. And you also understand that there is a bad guy and you know who he is, and you want to know why he's doing all this stuff to the girls. So it's really intriguing and really great and really funny because their friendship is amazing, and inside you have a gay couple that I love so much. I ship them so hard. So yeah, Lumberjane is really funny if you have time to read it. If you don't know what to read and you want something really short and really funny and really cute, just read Lumberjane. It's amazing. I give it 5 stars. So yeah guys, that's it for today. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. Also, tell me in the comments what was your favorite read in January, and also what you think about the character of AD in One of Us is Lying. I need to know that I'm not the only one to think that's crazy. And anyway, I will see you next time. Bye guys!